So I was born in Texas because my dad was in the Army, but when I was like 2 and on, I was raised in California, which is where my parents lived originally. So I grew up all around Southern California, like El Monte, La Puente, Ontario, where else? All over the place, really. But for the most part, I went to school in La Puente, and that's where I grew up. That's where I met all of my friends and music inspiration, things like that. That's where it happened. I enjoy skating a lot of my time. I try to do it as much as I can every week. It's just something that I've been into since I was a little kid, and I never really got good. But like in recent years, I've just been practicing more, being more patient. It's really fun, you know. It's like a very good outlet besides music. And the more you put your mind to it, the more you learn, the funner it gets. And the thing about skating is that shit's unlimited. So like, if you learn everything, do that shit switch now. And like, that's just a whole nother fucking door that's opening. So, consists of that. Or that's one of my hobbies. And the other hobby would be, of course, music and a little bit of guitar. One that I made by myself would probably be this thing I called Snippet Handbook Volume 1. It's on a different account, but that's definitely my favorite because it has a bunch of songs in one. And then another song that I actually have that I enjoy is one with my friend Nate K. He goes by Nate K. And it's called Way Up, and it's on our song or our mixtape. Is it a mixtape or EP? It's a mixtape. It's off our mixtape called Smokeaholics, and we made it last year, 2020, and Way Up is my favorite song off of that, for sure. I create music because I like it. It's definitely one of the best things that could have ever happened to me, to be honest. It's a way for me to get a lot of like inner feelings out or anything like creative that I want to do. It's just the best outlet that I could have came across of, and the reason I do it is because I love it, and it's no longer because like I want to be popular or blow up or anything like that. It's more just because like I love this shit, you know? One of my biggest influences musically is my dad, because his music taste is really my music taste. Like when I was a kid, he would bump a lot of like bands like Smiths or like Depeche Mode, stuff like that. But if I had to choose like a famous person, it would probably be like in the skating field, like Brad Cromer, like style skating. I love it. Who else? Just a lot of skaters. Like they inspire me a lot because they go balls to the wall. So that inspires me to go balls to the wall. Like fuck it, just do it. My music in the future, I really can't say, because like I'm the type of person who has like a bunch of ideas to where like I'll sit on them. So to choose where I'm gonna go first is kind of hard, but I do want to move out of rap, not permanently, but I do want to like separate myself from that every now and then, like maybe make some rock music, some indie music, more old school rap than new school rap, stuff like that. But if I gotta say like pinpoint what I look like in the future, like musically, I'd probably say more instruments and more things that consist of like what I made, and not like collaborating with like beat makers. Like I want to get a lot of things done to where I can make it myself, because when I record music at home, like the best things come when I'm by myself, because like I don't feel like I'm being judged by anyone, or like I'm gonna get put down for something, or they're gonna want to change something. So if I'm gonna collaborate with anyone, it's gonna be after like I have the bass, you know? Man, I really want to collab with this this filmer guy, Iced Up Productions. Crazy. My dream collabs are probably like rappers, or like the low-key rappers. So like Tony Snow, Thousand Bonfani. He's not really too low-key, but not mainstream. One of the activists, Freddie Gibbs, insane. Outside of rap, I'd probably say this three-piece band called Kwanbin. I think that's how you pronounce it. They're crazy too. I would love to collaborate with them. I think it's cool. I know it started like in 2016 with like Uzi. Like he was kind of like a rock star mixed with like rap music. But like Mario Judah and stuff, I think that shit is pretty fucking cool. Like it reminds me of a lot of like early rock, like a lot of like early 2000s rock, like just shit like that. Like I really like it, and I think he does a good job at mixing it. And also his album he did like copying Playboy Cardi, I think he bodied that shit. Like I fuck with Bean and Lean and all that stuff. I think it's really cool. I think it's a good direction, for sure. What motivates me to keep making music is probably like hard things in life that happen, like inconveniences that's happened before. You got two ways to take that. You can either like dwell in it or work past it. And what I like to do with my music is work past it, and that motivates me a lot. It gives me one, something to talk about, and two, like a drive. So things like that pushes me. Friends around me who like my stuff too, they push me. My family is actually really good support as well. They push me as well. So if I got support from them, then that's all I need, honestly. Like I don't really need too many fans to keep me doing this. Like I'll do this if I have one person listening. Like I love this. I like the idea of London a lot. I think it's a really cool place to be. I feel like it's a good place to get a change of scenery. You can kind of get away from the whole California city vibe, because I grew up in California my whole life. So I feel like a change of scenery like London would be sweet, because it's still some city, so I don't get too homesick, but it's enough for a change, and I just think it's badass over there. If I can go back in time and tell my early self making music anything, any type of advice, it would be to not sit on your ideas. Because a lot of that stuff I wouldn't drop now, but if I can go back in time, I would have dropped so many more of those things, because there's nothing wrong with being experimental, and there's nothing wrong with getting bad review, because that's how you know how to get better. If you're constantly leaving your learning process to yourself, you don't have any other opinion besides yourself, and you're like your own biggest critic. So that can get you stuck in your head. It's happened to me for sure. In 3 years from now, I see myself with a lot more knowledge in music when it comes to production, beat making, piano, and guitar. That's something I want to get down. I think it's important, and 3 years is more than enough time to practice that. So I'd be pretty upset at myself, and feel like in 3 years I'm not there. So yeah. What first got me into music was very early high school, around sophomore year. That's when the whole SoundCloud wave was popping, and a couple people in school were doing it. Two of those people were my friends from middle school. They go by Palo Alto and Ghostleafing. So I hit them up, we start rapping. It was very early in our music career, and so it wasn't very good. And but for some reason we were just like, fuck it. Like we knew we weren't good, but we continued it, and that was the beauty of it all, really. And that got me into it. It was like, damn, like this is really all about learning and the experience. And once you develop your own sounds, it becomes about what you can do and what you can do with your voice and different instruments and things like that. So that's really what got me into it. What I would say separates my music from other people's music is that I'm not afraid to be versatile. I don't stick in one direction. I would also say that if I'm using similar beat to someone else, I would say the content that I talk about, even though we're both rapping, would be different, because I remember like my earlier stuff, I was way too influenced by like what I listened to, that I would start rapping about things I'm not, like gang violence or affiliation, things like that. Like rapping about things that I don't do because it sounded cool. But now, for like at least the last 2-3 years, I've been very focused on trying to talk about like either real things that happen, fictional stories, incorporate other people's stories to my lyrics, things like that. And I can do that with probably about 3 genres. I like to mix and match with them, so that's what separates me from